Hello and welcome back under the dome. Welcome back to Encased and Playing Hardball. So in the last episode we made it. We ended the game and we chose the humane ending. We are back here before going into the maelstrom. And now we are going to explore some of the endings. Everything will be fine in the end. Unknown employee, so then it's just walk and talk to the...
The maelstrom, now weak and shrunk, is slowly spinning amidst the thick fog. It is restrained by the emulator's core broadcasting via the maelstrom beacons, though still very dangerous. You touch it with your fingers for a split second, and a flow of information overwhelms you at once, stunning you for a few moments.
Oha.
Listening carefully, you hear the familiar sound, ingrained in your memory. Soft, rhythmic beats, like heartbeats. You've already heard them while contacting the maelstrom through the emulator, but they're much weaker and softer now. The surface of the maelstrom unfolds slowly and as if reluctantly in rhythm with the beats. Your mind opens toward the white nothingness as if hanging in midair. And something living inside the maelstrom, invisible but perceptible, freezes in front of you, awaiting your command.
Okay, so we've got different options, as we know from the last episode. And we had taken Olivia's advice and turned it into a force of creation, which I personally like a lot, because I assumed that this would give humanity under the dome enough time, or as time as humanity needs, to figure out the secrets. Yeah, but actually, yeah, that was maybe a little bit too optimistic, considering the state of human mind. Yeah. But well, so what should we do next? Well, now that this was Olivia Reisner's idea, let's go to her husband. We could turn the maelstrom into a tunnel leading out of the dome and remove the death field. Let's do that. Let's see how that... So I don't have a good feeling about that, because I feel that the dangers under the dome might spread to Earth, and that's actually a problem, yeah? Which is why I feel that staying contained and people... Yeah, they knew that they wouldn't have any children and they would most likely die under the dome anyway. And now they have a chance, yeah, so there could be something evolved coming out of the dome at some point. That would be my personal optimistic view on the thing. But well, that also didn't really happen. Well, I mean, my personal thing was that I thought, okay, let's keep a balance under the dome. But we might have actually rather decided to, and I didn't know that it would end like this already, you know. I thought, okay, let's have a balance and then we'll figure out what's happening and so on. And up to a point where we know enough about the factions so that we can make an informed decision about what to do. Yeah, but right now, well, it looks like it's probably better to maybe sabotage certain factions, like the Phalanx, for example. In my opinion, Phalanx and the new committees, or the two dictatorships, or the two potential dictatorships under the dome. And then with the according resources, the other factions might evolve into something better. Yeah, I personally have the best feeling with the with Carmen Heights, and also the White Wing, so Russo. Well, let's go for this one here first. So let's remove the death field and a tunnel.
From all available options, you choose this one. After all, who, if not the people of Carmine Heights, deserve to be the first leaving the dome that within a few years became a prison to humanity? You give the maelstrom an order, and it obeys without a grumble. The spinning vortex widens and shoots up to the skies. A real storm rises around you within moments. It pulls in streams of whitish mist floating over the ground.
Of course, this means a hugely missed opportunity. Because if people are just getting out of the dome now, they will not... yeah, they will not explore the secrets.
You end up in an endless whiteness. In a dead, silent nothingness.
Aha. Well, let's take Yoko along.
Yoko looks at you with glowing
Okay, we already did this, so I'm going to click through this more quickly because we checked these dialogues in the last episode. So if you want to watch that,
will you go for recycling?
Some more, then just watch
storage
the last
warehouse?
episode, please,
Will
if
you
you've
get
missed
a
that
new
one.
task? I am ready to
The Robo Girl. Yoko's
retiree,
the Robo Girl.
further
Yoko,
studying
come
the girl.
along.
Let's begin our scientific.
Although it doesn't matter much anyway, except for if we start a fight. No. But I wonder, like, if we could have attacked and killed Hieronymus when he was at Phalanx, I guess. I wonder how the other factions would react to that. And by the way, I wonder how the marriage between well, the two guys from Carmen Heights, what is it, Victoria or something? How that will go. And now here, Audrey.
Melville's standing by a huge backpack, looking at you with disappointment.
It's cool to decide for others, huh? I hope you're satisfied with what you've done.
Well, you can get out of the dome now. What the... Well, Kata. There you are.
Katarzyna notices you
Ah,
from
and the
afar
white-dressed
and waves her
lab
hand.
coat.
Dressed
It's
in a white...
clean, it's good.
Right? I never doubted it for a sec. Well, that is, I doubt
What will
The
you do
question
next?
clearly
Ah, yeah,
next.
well, next,
I really have
well...
nowhere to go, but I'll think of something.
Housekeeper. Well, you
Maybe
know, you
I'll
can be
get
more
hired as a
optimistic, I
girl.
think. Come
I'm
on,
willing
let's
to
get
come with you in
let's get
this.
going.
Robo Kid.
Henrietta
I've
Russo.
seen her a lot in the lab.
Yellow dust is still hovering in the warm air, not yet settled down
Okay,
completely.
so... Well, what are you
Henrietta
doing?
shakes
Well...
her sleeve of the desert dust.
Scientists can
laughing.
always find
Yup.
something to do in such a place, yeah. I mean, of course, this decision is actually also bad role-playing because our character is from White Wing and we are extremely intelligent, as we recall. Yeah, with brain 16. And that's how I pictured our character, like right from the beginning anyway. That we could do more research and stuff, yeah. And discover all the secrets under the dome. And I have to admit that I actually thought that there would be some more stuff in that regard, like specialized White Wing stuff. But in the end it was just the emulator project, I guess. That's Emma Howard. Yeah, here, so there. Now this is Johann Reisner. Yeah, Johann. No, not Victoria Olivia. So Johann, we did what you suggested.
Johann and Olivia are already waiting for you. They're watching the maelstrom, standing by their tent. It seems almost motionless from here. Huge, slow, resembling a gray pipe stretching toward the ruins of the spire.
You turned it into a tunnel.
Johann half asks, half claims, staring into the sky.
Oh, well, one can forget about the calm, normal life. Of course, there's no problem more urgent than to get out of the dome. But maybe you've forgotten we have a home? We have Carmine Heights.
Olivia grumbles.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a bit sad, but people have built their homes during the last years. But yeah, I mean, like, the people can also not be trapped under the dome forever, of course. So, I mean, that's what I like about the solution as well. So, and I think it's not necessary to talk to everybody else. I'm rather certain that it's going to be all the same. So, let's get it off here. and then we can check out the slides, what's happening. This way. Oh, by the way, let's talk with Amalia. We didn't do that last time. With an air of tension and seriousness, Reynolds nods at us dryly. Have you memorized everything? Employee on this side of the highway are the representatives. Oh yeah, no thanks. Okay. That's her old speech. Her old dialogue. Okay then, so let's get out of here and then let's see what the consequences are if we choose the tunnel and to get out. Well,
Another milestone in the history of mankind has come to an end. Maelstrom, that you have awakened in the excavation zone at C-12 Nashville facility, has remained completely unexplored, much like the civilization of the forefathers that created it.
I don't feel that this is actually in line with what we've experienced through the game. Yeah, but, well, like completely unexplored. But
of course, Maelstrom was neither good nor evil. It probably turned out to be just a tool that humanity simply was not mature enough to wield. Perhaps it was a communication interface that tried to unite the minds of all the people under the dome. Or a security system that warned us against getting into contact with something unknown and dangerous. Or a creative force that transforms the world and awakens supernatural powers in some individuals. One thing is indisputable. Maelstrom, lost in its own creation, gave rise to your incredible mind. And once in your hands, it gave you the opportunity to change the fate of the world completely. Few receive such a chance, and naturally, you took it and made your choice. After hearing Johann's ideas, you turned Maelstrom into a kind of giant tunnel, or rather an elevator, leading to the aperture at the top of the dome. Now, any living creature can exit the dome without hindrance. After several years in forced isolation, this possibility gave humanity much-needed hope.
Oh, well, okay, actually that's a rather safe thing, like an elevator. Yeah, so then any horrors should have a very hard time to get out of the dome, actually. So, in this sense, with the whole potential and the whole resource of Earth and humanity, this is possibly even a better choice than I thought. Because now humanity has all the time to explore the dome. Yeah, and people can get in there, you know, and get out of there, and then, well, I mean, they can't have any children within the dome, but then they can also get outside again and have them there, right? Have a research project for a couple of years and then get out and have their personal future again.
Your decision did nothing to diminish the controversy among the exhausted Baron's dwellers, but it did distract everyone from their unresolved problems, forcing them to believe in an early successful outcome.
Yeah.
Though you interfered with the new committee, your actions had no significant influence on the organization's fate. Some things changed for the better, some things to the worse, but generally, its status remained the same.
Well, I mean, people, yeah, I'm still standing with this decision. Yeah, people, they were making their choices.
The list of employees you delivered proved quite handy to Zemeckis. He invited many of the high-qualified specialists to work for the Phalanx, and some of them took the offer, leaving the new committee forever.
Well, that's the right. I mean, it's just an invitation, right? I mean, it would be different if he would abduct them or something, but he didn't.
After
so.
defeating the Maelstrom and wandering around the desert to your heart's content, you returned to Junktown and took the mayor's chair. Upon improving your relationship with Bethany, you took on a course to build a thriving capitalist community. Since Spengler, who lost his position as sheriff, left the settlement, you also had to take on the fight against crime. But you did not achieve much success. Junktown remained to be a rather dangerous place.
Yeah, I'm not okay like that we were locked into this. just because the guy is not working as a sheriff anymore. I mean, we could appoint lots of people for security. There were a lot of unemployed soldiers anyway.
As for the life on Magellan Station,
or former soldiers.
Nothing changed in particular. Zemeckis' embarrassment from losing the elections in Carmine Heights didn't last long. Hieronymus channeled all his passion toward transforming the Phalanx, trying to turn it from a private mercenary army to something bigger. He succeeded. Thanks to the database of the new committee employees you'd stolen, Zemeckis managed to attract valuable specialists, who turned the Phalanx into a leading community of the Dome for years.
I'm starting to read something like that you have stolen. There is certainly some judgment there, also in the intonation.
The forefathers' best technologies and advanced genetics allowed a breakthrough in medicine, which made cloning, growing organs, and cyborgification possible. Zemeckis himself survived several operations and died in 2047 after an unhumanly long life.
Well, but died he did.
Your help and support to the church resulted in it spreading all over the Dome in just a few years. Its branches opened even in the farmost places. No qualitative leap in the virtual world technology occurred, and both the church and its faith became something quite mundane after a while.
Well,
the organization existed for many years, reaching its full potential in 1993, a couple of years before the abbot's death.
Yeah, well, I'm still very distrustful of this church because we saw so much bad stuff, right? Like the sex workers and all of that. So that's like giving them the power of Maelstrom is like the same thing like with Zemeckis, so that doesn't feel right at all.
As for the picnic neutral zone, it degraded slowly for many years. Your help proved to be not enough to provide its autonomy.
Well,
you actually finished the entire gang of fops off by convincing their queen to go looking for her past. Without Victoria, the fops became weak and undisciplined. They scattered all over the Dome and died away within several years. With Maelstrom transformed into a gate to the outside world, Carmine Heights' position has only strengthened. With the developments in the isosuit program and a powerful scientific and industrial base, the Republic soon became the unofficial center of civilization under the Dome. A place where finances, power, and technological progress were concentrated.
Yeah, that sounds good.
You performed a great service for the engineers working on the isosuit project. Thanks to your efforts, a working prototype of the device was ready in a few short years.
Well, but that should have happened even with the other. That was I was hoping for. Yeah, this isosuit, and that way they could have gone out of the Dome anyway. Even, you know, that was my idea, to have the paradise inside of the Dome and then getting out at will.
After rigorous testing to confirm the reliability and safety of isosuits, the first expedition was sent to the surface of the Dome.
Uh-huh.
What they discovered was incomprehensible and alarming. After descending the outside of the Dome, the researchers headed for Crystal Sands. They reported the settlement had been destroyed and abandoned. There were no further communications.
Oh, uh-huh.
A haunting silence echoed throughout the Dome. Humanity now knew that escaping the Dome was not the end of their trials, but merely the beginning. Yesterday's comforting image of a bright, stable future had turned unsettling, even frightening.
Well, what I don't understand now is why do they need the suits to get through the tunnel? Because I thought the Maelstrom here is like an elevator now. I thought people could get through that this way, and even without the suits. For me, that's not very convincing. The suits were actually designed to walk through the barrier. Or am I wrong? Please correct me if you have other ideas.
No, it became obvious much later. After many years, by that time, the desert had covered your traces. Though the tale of what you'd done is still alive. And will stay like that till the end of time.
Well. Oh, we don't get an achievement? Well, okay then. Well. Let's look at something else. So I reloaded that. And then we can walk in here. And then let's see what happens if we are doing the Russo. So that's the thing that I feel is actually the best. So I'm not. Let's not read everything.
Toward the white
here,
nothingness
listen
as
to
if
Russo.
hanging in midair. And something living inside the maelstrom, invisible but perceptible, freezes in front of you, awaiting your command.
I mean, switching the Maelstrom off is also interesting, but on the other hand, like, the Maelstrom is a huge opportunity. Yeah, but by the way, we never knew what's actually happening outside of the dome. So, let's listen to Russo. Zone the Maelstrom, divided into samples, save for research.
You stop beside the maelstrom, thinking. Any decision seems a hasty one now. Whoever you give control of this power to, there'll be no way to predict the consequences. The only solution that seems reasonable is giving the maelstrom to scientists. With enough time and resources for their research, they'll do the right thing eventually. Your mind is connected to the maelstrom. You give it a complicated order. Split into several streams. Lower the peripheral activity. And make specific borders to the research zones to avoid disturbing ordinary dome dwellers. The white vortex is shimmering with lightning, listening obediently to your commands. Then flashes with white light and spreads so fast you have no time to react. The shining stream pushes you backward, casting you into an endless white nothingness.
There we go. Let's talk to Russo. So she's actually also one of my favorite characters in the game so far. Not just because of her colorful socks. But by the way, let's have Yoko. Maybe Yoko says something.
Yoko looks at you with glowing blue eyes.
Well, retiring
Yoko,
is a thing,
Further
but
studying
yeah,
the girl.
you can come
Command
along.
protocols
So.
are set. I am ready to explore the dome, Senpai.
Yeah, come along, Yoko. So, and then let's walk over there. And we're coming here, there. Enjoying our beautiful servo shell. And by the way, like, is she saying, like, this should be good for Audrey as well, right?
Melville's standing by a huge
No.
backpack, looking at you with disappointment.
It's cool to decide for others, huh? I hope you're satisfied with what you've done.
Audrey, I'm sorry to say so, but you are too narrow-minded. So, that's never gonna work. So, Katarzyna?
Katarzyna,
You did it, right?
Yeah, what will you
Neck,
do?
really
Yeah,
have
well,
nowhere to go.
think big,
But I'll
lady.
think of something.
Cut.
Maybe I'll get
Think
help.
bigger.
I'm willing to come with you and this robo kid. I've seen her lot in the lab.
Why is she so negative? No, Henrietta. She should
yellow
actually also
dust
be
is
excited
still
right
hovering
now.
in the warm air, not yet settled down completely. Russo is standing near her tent, looking both peaceful and lost.
I feel as if they'd taken my favorite toy from me. I'm kidding. I'm glad you succeeded.
Actually, she should be a little bit more excited. But well, what are you going to do now?
Henrietta watches the maelstrom, which looks as if squeezed inside a gigantic parallelepiped.
The most involved part is just the beginning. I make up an engineer team first, We create a Maelstrom controlling interface, and then we elaborate a system of tests.
That sounds good.
She lightly squeezes your shoulder and looks into your eyes gratefully.
I say, without my usual irony, we'll be able to do so much thanks to you. How much? I don't know. Our future may surpass our boldest dreams. Time will tell.
Well, that sounds great. The problem is, though, that without children there is no future. So we've got, like, how long? Maybe 20 years or so. Let's get it off here. So everybody else is just as disappointed as we know. So people have, like, well, depending on their age, like, let's say, like, 40 years max or something. Yeah. Oh, well, okay. Now, on the other hand, like, what we know about the Mackey's fate, with the research, people can get older and stay healthier than before, but then still it's a limited amount of time because we don't have any children under the dome.
Another milestone in the history of mankind has come to an end. Maelstrom, that you have awakened in the excavation zone at C-12 Nashville facility, has remained completely unexplored, much like the civilization of the forefathers that created it.
Well, this is also, like, still, for me personally, this is still weird that now even that we are dedicating everything to the research. Why would they say something like this right now? I mean, at the moment, maybe it's relatively unexplored, but we had a lot of research going on.
Of course, Maelstrom was neither good nor evil. It probably turned out to be just a tool that humanity simply was not mature enough to wield. Perhaps it was a communication interface that tried to unite the minds of all the people under the dome. Or a security system that warned us against getting into contact with something unknown and dangerous. Or a creative force that transforms the world and awakens supernatural powers in some individuals. One thing is indisputable. Maelstrom, lost in its own creation, gave rise to your incredible mind. And once in your hands, it gave you the opportunity to change the fate of the world completely. When it came down to making a choice, you followed your conscience and put your trust in someone whose intelligence, sincerity, and good intentions were never in doubt.
Yeah, that's actually what I feel about Russo as well. So she's actually one of the coolest characters in the game. The nicest person.
Henrietta Russo and all her scientist colleagues under the dome received a truly luxurious gift. An enormous, insanely complex anomaly ready for their research and experiments. Maelstrom was split into many foci with different properties and well-defined boundaries. Although your decision had political consequences, nothing much changed at first. Life under the dome went on as usual. Though you interfered with the new committee, your actions had no significant influence on the organization's fate. Some things changed for the better, some things to the worse, but generally, its status remained the same. The list of employees you delivered proved quite handy to Zemeckis. He invited many of the high-qualified specialists to work for the Phalanx, and some of them took the offer, leaving the new committee forever.
Still their decision.
After defeating the Maelstrom and wandering around the desert to your heart's content, you returned to Junktown and took the mayor's chair. Upon improving your relationship with Bethany, you took on a course to build a thriving capitalist community. Since Spengler, who lost his position as sheriff, left the settlement, you also had to take on the fight against crime. But you did not achieve much success. Junktown remained to be a rather dangerous place.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced about that because there are good people who could actually fight the crime and better people than Spengler, who was also rather corrupt, wasn't he? And also I wonder, like, what's going on here with Junktown. I mean, what was the name again? The emulator project was actually situated in Junktown. And we also have some manufacturing going there now. So because we had this huge investment program dedicated to the Blue Wing. Yeah, so actually, like, all in all, a balanced approach with a focus on the Blue Wing there. Yeah, I think it's actually better than this year. So Junktown might be rather dangerous, yeah, but there are also good opportunities there.
As for the life on Magellan Station, nothing changed in particular. Elections took place in Carmine Heights. The Reisners kept their position. Your help had a significant effect on the settlement, and the community learned its lesson. Peace among its members became the highest priority of its internal policy, and eventually led to the creation of the local parliament. The long-lasting, simmering conflict, which had been ruining the marriage of Johann and Olivia, gradually faded. The now wiser spouses managed to build a balanced settlement, combining both powerful scientific potential and productive agriculture.
Yeah, sounds good.
With the passage of time, Carmine Heights managed a small but technically equipped army to protect the Republic from invading forces. Zemeckis' embarrassment from losing the elections in Carmine Heights didn't last long. CRONUS channeled all his passion toward transforming the Phalanx, trying to turn it from a private mercenary army to something bigger. He succeeded. Thanks to the database of the new committee employees you'd stolen,
Against this
managed to
accusation.
attract valuable specialists who turned the Phalanx into a leading community of the Dome for years.
Yeah, okay, I mean, it's the fact, right? We did that. But, well, I still think, as long as he didn't abduct anybody or so, yeah, it's the people's free will and their decision. So, and if Zemeckis gives them better opportunities or whatever, yeah, then it's their decision. So, and then you can't hold them back anyway.
The forefathers' best technologies and advanced genetics allowed a breakthrough in medicine, which made cloning, growing organs, and cyborgification possible. Zemeckis himself survived several operations and died in 2047 after an unhumanly long life.
Well, I would have expected something like this even more for Carmine Heights. That should be the pinnacle of human research.
Your help and support to the church resulted in it spreading all over the Dome in just a few years. Its branches opened even in the farmost places. No qualitative leap in the virtual world technology occurred, and both the church and its faith became something quite mundane after a while.
Yeah.
The organization existed for many years, reaching its full potential in 1993, a couple of years before the abbot's death. As for the picnic neutral zone, it degraded slowly for many years. Your help proved to be not enough to provide its autonomy.
Well,
you actually finished the entire gang of fops off by convincing their queen to go looking for her past. Without Victoria, the fops became weak and undisciplined. They scattered all over the Dome and died away within several years.
Well, I would have hoped, by the way, to know what actually happens to Victoria. Yeah, she just vanished, but what happened? That's also that's slightly dissatisfying here.
In the hands of White Wing, Maelstrom began a new scientific era. The next 2 years of research revealed more about the Dome than everything that had been learned before. New drugs were developed to completely counter radiation sickness and cancer.
That's great.
In 1983, the prospect of escaping the Dome and reversing the infertility problem were but the first of many glorious achievements for mankind.
That's great. Yeah, actually, like turning Maelstrom to science, and thus enabling all the solutions needed, that's indeed maybe the best thing to do. Instead of, for example, Olivia's approach. Yeah. Although that was the most humane thing, but like with the signs, we can also manipulate the weather under the dome, I guess. So that seems to be a way better choice, in my opinion.
The scientists had no desire to become a political force, but nevertheless, their influence changed society under the dome forever. The future continued to be uncertain, but now at least it was in good hands.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Though it became obvious much later. After many years, by that time, the desert had covered your traces. Though the tale of what you'd done is still alive, and will stay like that till the end of time.
Yes, indeed. So, well, I'm much more in line with that ending, actually. I like that. Yeah. And I don't have to say anything about that. So, I think that this is the ending that we've seen where we can be the most optimistic, actually. And then, at some point, a really evolved humanity could come out of the dome. Yeah, for Earth and the rest of humanity to profit. Yeah. So, looking at the time, I think we're actually doing it like this. I'm going to look at all the endings and share them, of course. But I think we are only doing 2 per episode now. Yeah, so we will have a number of more episodes, episodes where we always look at 2 endings. And I guess like in the final one, I might even run back and look for this this device. I think it must have been something from the church or so that we might steal or whatever. I don't know. Let's check that one out. Where we become part of Maelstrom ourselves. So I don't even know why we don't have that, because I took everything. On the other hand, like we haven't been down there under the church with the abbot. Maybe it was something there. Yeah. I probably need to check that out and try to steal stuff. Let's see. So then we are continuing next time. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do show it by clicking the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, so never ever miss an episode again. And how about you share your thoughts in the comment section? What do you think about these endings? Is that realistic? How do you like the writing? Is that consistent with the game so far? And does it make sense in your opinion? What do you think? I would like to know your thoughts, and I'm rather sure that the community would appreciate that as well. Yeah, let's continue next time. So then, bye-bye.